While most DeFi protocols are struggling to stay relevant, one lending platform just processed $170 million in liquidations without breaking a sweat. Morpho is now powering crypto loans for Coinbase, Kraken, and even traditional finance giants like Societe Generale. The protocol is sitting on over $9 billion in deposits, yet the token is down about 60% from its all-time high. But here's what nobody's talking about. Morpho just launched a big new project that could have wild implications for the future of this coin, and a major protocol upgrade could activate fees that send this token parabolic. Let me break down why institutional money is flooding in, and at what price levels you need to watch. Morpho is a decentralized lending protocol, but it works completely differently from what you're used to. Think of traditional DeFi lending like Aave or Compound. You deposit your crypto into a big pool and borrowers take from that pool. Everyone gets average rates because you're all sharing the same liquidity. Morpho flips this model. It uses peer-to-peer matching to connect lenders directly with borrowers. If you're lending USDC and someone wants to borrow USDC, Morpho matches you directly. You get better yields, they get better rates, everyone wins. And if there's no direct match available, the protocol falls back to traditional pools, so liquidity is always there. The real innovation is Morpho Blue, their modular architecture that launched in late 2024. This lets anyone create custom lending markets with their own rules. You can set your own interest rate models, your own loan-to-value ratios, choose your own price oracles. Want to create a lending market for a weird token pair that Aave won't touch? You can do that on Morpho. This modularity is massive for institutions. Instead of trusting one team to make all the decisions, you can spin up isolated markets with exactly the risk parameters you want. That's why we're seeing traditional finance companies and crypto exchanges building on top of Morpho instead of just using Aave. The protocol also introduced something called curated vaults. These are like ETFs for DeFi lending. Expert curators build diversified lending strategies across multiple Morpho markets, and you can deposit into their vault to get automated yield without managing it yourself. Bitwise, the crypto asset manager with billions under management, just launched their own vaults on Morpho last month. The Morpho token is pure governance. Holders vote on protocol upgrades, which markets get approved, risk parameters, and eventually fee structures. Right now, the protocol generates around $183 million annually in fees, but none of that flows to token holders yet. That's a DAO decision waiting to happen, and we'll get to why that matters. The big story right now is institutional adoption hitting critical mass. Coinbase launched crypto-backed loans where you can borrow against your Bitcoin or ETH holdings. Under the hood, that's all running on Morpho. When the market dumped recently, Coinbase had to liquidate over $170 million in positions. Morpho handled it flawlessly. No exploits, no system failures, just smooth execution. Kraken just integrated too. Gemini, Crypto.com, BitGet, all building on Morpho infrastructure. These aren't small partnerships. These are the biggest exchanges in crypto trusting Morpho with billions in user funds. But the wildcard news is XRP lending. On February 3rd, Morpho went live with the first permissionless XRP lending market on the Flare network. You can now deposit wrapped XRP and earn yield or borrow against it. XRP has a massive holder base that's been locked out of DeFi because most protocols won't support it. Morpho just opened that door. The other catalyst is protocol fees. Right now, Morpho generates fees, but reinvests everything back into growth. The DAO is discussing activating fee distribution to token holders. If that vote passes, Morpho becomes a yield-bearing asset backed by real revenue. That changes the entire value proposition. There's also Morpho 5.2 coming this year. Intent-based lending with fixed rates and fixed terms. Right now, everything is variable rate. V2 lets you lock in a rates like a traditional loan, which is exactly what institutions want. Stick around for the price targets and predictions, but first, OKX is genuinely one of the more solid exchanges out there. Good security, deep liquidity, and it doesn't randomly fall apart when markets get crazy. It's consistently ranked near the top, fees are competitive, and withdrawals actually work when you need them. Plus, there's up to 100 euros for signing up and up to 200 euros for referrals. So you're literally getting paid to try it. No gimmicks, just a platform that does its job. Check the link in the description to grab those bonuses and more. Back to the video. Let's talk numbers. Current price is sitting around $1.15, which is down 70% from the all-time high of $4.17. Market cap is at 628 million, with about 546 million tokens, circulating out of a 1 billion total supply. Short-term over the next few weeks, technical analysis shows resistance at $1.22. If we break through that with volume, the next target is $1.38 based on the falling wedge pattern. RSI is neutral around 45, so we're not overbought or oversold, just consolidating. Support held at $1.06 during the recent dip, so that's your line in the sand. Below that, and we're looking at lower lows, medium term through 2026, analyst consensus is between $1.70 and $1.94. That's roughly 50 to 70% upside from current levels. For that to play out, we need continued institutional adoption, and ideally that fee activation vote passing. The bull case is straightforward. Morpho has $9 billion in TVL, generates $183 million in annual fees, and is integrated with every major exchange. If even 30% of those fees flow to token holders, you're looking at a yield-bearing governance token for one of the top lending protocols in DeFi. At current valuation, that's cheap compared to competitors. Long-term by 2030, some forecasts go as high as $3 to $4. I'm always skeptical of predictions that far out, but if Morpho becomes the back-end infrastructure for institutional crypto lending, those numbers aren't unrealistic. Now let's talk risks, because there are real ones here you need to watch. First, the fee discussion could go nowhere. The DAO might decide to keep reinvesting fees indefinitely instead of distributing them to holders. Without cash flows, the token is just governance rights, which limits upside. You need to watch DAO proposals closely. If you see a fee activation vote coming up, that's your signal. Second, competition is fierce. AVE is the 800-pound gorilla with way more TVL and brand recognition. Compound is still around. Morpho's edge is modularity and capital efficiency. But if AVE launches similar features, that edge disappears fast. Keep an eye on what competitors are shipping. Third, smart contract risk. Morpho Blue launched in late 2024 and has been audited and formally verified, but it's still relatively new code handling billions of dollars. One exploit could crater confidence and the token price overnight. This is DeFi. Smart contract risk is always there. Morpho is one of the more underrated plays in DeFi right now. The fundamentals are solid. Billions in TVL, institutional adoption, real revenue, and a governance token trading at a fraction of its highs. The XRP integration opens a new market, and V2 could be a legitimate catalyst. Check that link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.